Hey sis, hey! You are tuned into 101 TKO Radio, and this is the She Wins show with your favorite coach, Andromeda, coming to you live every Tuesday and Thursday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., bringing you information, inspiration, entertainment, and the game plan to win in life and in business. If you are, yes, come on. If you are tuning in live with me today, you are the real MVP. Shout out to you for showing up for yourself and your sis, because this is the first show, the first official show of She Wins Radio. Thank you so much for listening with me today. I also want to go ahead and shout out Atlanta, okay? Because I have only been here for less than 2 months, and your girl already has her own radio show. Come on, Atlanta. I moved here from Orlando, and I didn't know exactly what to expect. I was just being obedient. I felt like God was leading me here, and here I am, and Atlanta has become the land of opportunity, okay? I also want to shout out the women of Atlanta for understanding that collaboration is greater than competition. Come on. Okay, shout out to Chelsea Speaks for providing me with this opportunity to own our one-on-one TKO radio. And speaking of the land of opportunity, Atlanta was listed as one of the 6 best cities for Black professionals, according to Travel Noir. Okay, so if you are currently in your city right now and you are feeling like you are just not getting the opportunities that you deserve, if you are feeling like your vibe is not attracting your tribe, maybe you got to get up and move, sis. As they say, you are not a tree. You can get up and move whenever you are ready. And sometimes it looks like walking out in faith. I know that moving is not only a task, but sometimes it's just really scary, right? However, I want to testify that I moved here not knowing what to expect at all. And from the moment I got here, God has been opening doors for me. So if you do need to move somewhere new, I'm going to share with you some of the other cities that are on this list of 6 best cities for Black professionals in 2023, along with Atlanta, Georgia. Chicago, Illinois is also on the list as the Windy City's economic renaissance, okay? Chicago has been recognized as one of America's best cities for Black professionals. Forbes magazine Black Demographic Report for the year highlights Chicago's strong presence. The city boasts a growing tech sector that has helped propel it into one of America's fastest growing economies. This makes it an ideal place for Black professionals to find employment opportunities and grow their career significantly. So shout out to Chicago. I'm going to come back to Atlanta because I think it's important that I read this to you. Atlanta stands out as another one of the best cities for Black professionals. The city's Black resident population amounts to 33.4%, a high percentage for a large U.S. city. Economically, Atlanta is home to several Fortune 500 companies. These organizations have substantial Black employee populations, including giants like Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines. Furthermore, it ranks as one of the top 10 most diverse places for young professionals. With a significant role in the birth of the Black Lives Matter movement and its diverse population, Atlanta is a place where Black professionals can find a thriving community and plentiful opportunities. Yes, absolutely. Again, I'm testifying that is true. The opportunities are abundant in Atlanta. Also on this list, Raleigh, North Carolina. I think I'm saying that right, y'all. It's a rising tech hub. Charlotte, North Carolina is also on the list. Shout out to the Queen City. I have some sisters in the Queen City. Shout out to Latricia, the Queen City for Black professionals. Check out Charlotte, North Carolina if you're looking for somewhere to move. Also, Cleveland, Ohio, a city of opportunities, and Houston, Texas, where diversity meets opportunity. So again, this is a list from Travel Noir 2023, best cities for Black professionals. Sis, if you're ready to move, if you're ready to shake something, if you're ready for something different, if you're ready to get out of your element, if you're ready to step outside of your comfort zone, check out those 6 cities to consider to move to. All right. So speaking of Atlanta, though, y'all, we have been having this conversation about how the weather just dropped on us. Okay, like I was living my best fall, a little bit summer life just a few weeks ago. I was stepping out in my shorts, in my tank tops, in this warm weather. But however, as of a couple days ago, the weather has made a turn on us. So today, I want to tell you what the weather's looking like in Atlanta. If you were thinking that you was stepping out the door in any type of short sleeves, I hate to break it to you, but that's not happening, sis. The weather today in Stonecrest in Greater Atlanta is in the 30s and the 40s. in the morning and at night, and in the mid to high 50s in the afternoon and evening. So you are definitely going to want to make sure that you are wearing your layers, you got you a good coat, and you are bundling up. Also, you got to know that currently there is a freeze warning, which means that you want to make sure that you are prepared, right? A cold front is on the way, bringing chillier conditions our way. And the freeze effect is in effect until Thursday evening, right? So here are some tips to stay prepared through cold temperatures. One of the first tips is to check on people, right? If you have some elderly people, if you have some people who may not be as mobile, you want to reach out to people in your neighborhood and community. Make sure that those who are struggling with cold conditions have a nice warm place to stay. Make sure everybody has their heaters and heat, you're working on their AC units and all of those things. Also, you want to make sure that you're protecting your pipes, okay? So when water freezes, it expands, adding pressure on whatever contains it, including metal or plastic pipes. So pipes exposed to severe cold, like outdoor hose bibs, swimming pool supply lines, and water sprinkler lines, you want to make sure that you're checking on this. To avoid your pipes from freezing up, you want to make sure that you're dripping water from your faucets in the home and leave cabinets open to allow the heat from your home to keep the pipes warm. The Red Cross also recommends drain the water from the swimming pool and water sprinkler supply lines. Also, you want to make sure you're bringing in your pets, right? Don't let Fluffy stay outside too long, all right? Bring in Fluffy, bring in your plants, and also make sure that you are saving money on your heat. So ensure that your heating system runs efficiently as possible and ensure your vents are not blocked. All right, we're going to take a quick music break. We'll be right back with you.
one.
Hey sis, hey, you are tuned into 101 TKL Radio, and this is the She Wins Show with your favorite coach Andromeda coming to you live every Tuesday and Thursday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. When we left off from the before the music break, we were talking about this cold weather and some remedies for this cold weather. So really quickly, I don't know if y'all are like me, but I love me a nice warm beverage in the morning. Tea is my jam. And so I wanted to quickly share with you a recipe for spiced apple tea mix. Okay, so if you are again looking for something to stay warm this season, try out this warm spiced apple tea mix, which includes 2 tablespoons of loose green tea, 2 tablespoons of snipped crystallized ginger. I love me some ginger, y'all. A teaspoon of whole allspice, a teaspoon of whole cloves, 6 crisp dried apple chips. Y'all love apple chips. Never thought about putting that in some tea, huh? And then 6 to 3 inch cinnamon sticks. All right. You can find the recipe for this spiced apple tea mix on Better Homes and Gardens. Now, if you are looking for another way to stay warm this season, I mean, as we know, this type of time of year is called cuffing season, right? Maybe you need to get you a boo to cuddle up to if you don't have one already. And speaking of booze, so I know I'm not the only one who has seen this viral, infamous list going around on social media about the places women do not want to be taken to on the first date. So let me say this first and foremost. I have been married for 10 years. I have been with my husband for 20 years. And I did not know the Cheesecake Factory was a problem, y'all. When did the Cheesecake Factory become a problem to go to on the first date? Me and my husband have been having a lot of hilarious conversations about this list and some of the things that, women have been talking about when it comes to dating lately. And I want to ask you, do you think that we are asking for too much, ladies? Like, I'm all for women having their own standards. I'm all for women definitely choosing and accepting nothing less than the best. But are we asking for too much, sis? I'm gonna give you my thoughts on this. And also, I want you to go ahead, call in at 678-439-7419. Let me know, what do you think about this viral list that's going on? So just in case you have not seen it, right? Just in case it has not crossed your path yet, there is this list that's going around on social media where women are saying these are the places they do not want to go to on their first date. Included on this list is, as I mentioned, the Cheesecake Factory, Applebee's, Chili's, Chipotle, Olive Garden, the movies. Okay, so one of my first dates with my husband 20 years ago was the movies. We went to the movies a lot, okay? They don't want to go to your house. No fast food chains, Buffalo Wild Wings, Red Lobster, a buffet. No coffee dates, y'all. Do not the women do not want to be taken to Starbucks, man. Yeah, this list, it kind of just goes on and on. And I'm trying to wonder who made this list, y'all? Like who put together this list? Because no one sent me out a memo to provide my ideas about it. And I know that a lot of women out here, when we're talking about it, we're a little perplexed. We're a little confused. Like, you can't take a girl to the coffee shop on the first date. So here's the conversation that me and my husband have been having about this. Okay, once again, I am all for women having their own standards, but I have to speak up for the men in this particular moment. If a man is out here dating, right, on a regular basis, and he's trying to find the one, I think, doesn't that become quite expensive for him if every time that he's taking a woman on a date, he's going to a 5-star restaurant, especially if he does not know this person yet. Maybe there was some physical attraction, maybe there was some, good conversation, but dating is part of dating is getting to know the person, right? Is it really all about how much money is being spent on the first date? Why is it that we feel entitled to a man spending so much money on us on the first date? Why is that? Where's this coming from? Is the purpose of a first date not to just really get to know a person? Are we missing out on opportunities? Are we literally we're praying for our husbands and then we're sending him away because he's taking us to the Cheesecake Factory? What are we doing, y'all? What are we doing? So I definitely wanted us to talk about this today. Again, this is me coming from being married for 10 years. So I feel like I got some skin in the game where I can speak about this. I also have not been out in this dating world for a long time, and I have heard that it's the ghetto out there. So I will say that. However, I do want to encourage my sisters to, everything that is for you, it may not always be packaged exactly the way that you expect it to be. there are some really good men who may actually be making a really good living for themselves, who may just want to take you out for a coffee date so they can have some good conversation and get to know you better. I think about my relationship, even just with me being married for 10 years, how the ring that my husband proposed to me with, if I showed you that ring, y'all, most of y'all would have been like, "Oh no," I would have said no, right? It was small. And then when we got married 5 years after our engagement, he got me a larger ring. And as for our 10-year engagement, my husband put a rock on my finger. Okay, this rock is beautiful. So we have grown together in our relationship, and I think that because some of these things that we are making as our I think priorities or things that we are making to be more important in the relationship are causing us to miss out on really, really good opportunities to meet really, really good men who are going to love us and care for us and provide for us and protect us. So I definitely wanted to speak my piece on this subject, y'all. Okay, like for real. If you meet a nice guy and he wants to take you for coffee, it's not for me to say do it, sis, but I think you should consider it. All right. Don't let where he's trying to take you, as long as you feel safe and protected and respected in that space, be open to having new experiences and to meeting new people where they are, right? Not putting stipulations on where they should take you. So that's my whole spiel on this topic. And then I also want to talk about what is today's date, y'all? Do y'all know what today is? Today is November 2nd. And if you did not know, today is National Men Make Dinner Day. So if you do actually have a boo, you might need to tell him, hubby or boo, thing, I need you to get in the kitchen and make me some dinner. Today is National Men Dinner. Sorry, y'all. National Men Make Dinner Day, which is the first date in November. This means that the man of the house is in charge of the kitchen and the evening's meal. Okay, so what the rules are, there are rules of this day, is that a man must, if he's going to get the kitchen cooked, he must, the main meal must include a minimum of 4 ingredients and require at least one cooking utensil other than a fork. So I was just talking to Nelson today. Nelson, you there? Okay, I actually have a caller coming in. Let's grab this call real quick. Caller, are you there? Caller, are you there? Uh-oh. Okay, well, maybe they'll call back. All right, so again, if a man, if your husband, if your spouse, if your partner, if your boo thing is going to get into the kitchen today, the main meal must include a minimum of 4 ingredients, require at least one cooking utensil other than a fork. So me and Nelson were talking about this earlier today. Nelson, what's your thought on that rule? Main meal must include a minimum of 4 ingredients and at least one cooking utensil other than a fork.
Really? I don't know. I guess for ingredients. Well, yeah, I can have different ingredients when I season in my meat. You know what I'm saying?
Seasoning your meat to put it on the grill.
Right.
You
know.
Okay, I guess that's a pass. I don't know if seasoning is an ingredient, but we might have to give him a pass if that's the best he can do, right? All right, and then also the man has to do all the shopping for the necessary ingredients. Okay, so it can't be like my husband, like, oh, go to the store and get the stuff, and then I'll cook it for you. No, you have to. The man has to go and get the things and cook it, and then he has to clean up as he goes. Oh my goodness! Now I know that this is a challenge for a lot of men. Again, my husband included. Usually, if he gets in the kitchen and he cooks, oh, my caller is back. Let's try to grab that. Caller, are you there?
Hey, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Who's on the line? Hey, Nat Nat, how are you? I am so good. So what do you have to share with us today? What do you have to contribute to the conversation?
migraine to like, well, we just want us for money.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Lord, it doesn't mean your standards are low, or, you know, like you said, those costs. I feel like, you need all that stuff, like they don't know nothing about me. That's what that's like.
Mm, that's a good
I
point.
feel like you're trying to buy me.
Ooh. Okay, that's a new perspective on that.
And then if you leave with your money, I feel like that's all you're about.
Mm,
That's okay.
that's good. That's really, really, really good. Nelson, did you say we had another call? Okay, so Nelson, Natalie, thank you so much for chiming in on that. I absolutely agree with you. We're gonna go ahead and take another caller.
Yeah.
Hello, caller, are you there?
Hello, yes I am.
Hello, hello. Who is on the line?
Oh, hi, hi.
Hi, who's on the line?
Oh, hi, this is Ebony Gill calling from Akron, Ohio.
Hey, Ebony. All right, sis. What do you have to contribute to the conversation?
Listen, I have a lot to contribute. You know, to this topic is near and dear. We talk about dating and how we show up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my question to the lady, if a man is taking you to a five-star restaurant, first date, second date, third date, what are you giving him in return?
Ooh.
I think when we set the stakes so high, there's this understanding that the man's supposed to do all this for you. If a man does that to me, he's going to be expecting something back.
Ooh.
Again, we're talking about the Cheesecake Factory. I feel like that's not a small price tag, okay? If you go there. But there's this understanding that men are supposed to do all these things just because, and that's just not reality.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I agree. I absolutely agree, sis. Like we do have to understand that our expectations also come with expectations. So that's good.
Yes, yes. And so this whole idea of you don't even know me, but you're supposed to jump through all these hoops for me, I think it's ridiculous. But I'm really glad that this has come up in conversation that people are actually talking it through. And
Mhm.
especially when we start off with being materialistic and superficial, and having this type of exchange, and then we wonder why relationships don't work. What does that have to do with anything?
Mhm.
You know my story that I was a little older, a little seasoned when I got married. And I'm telling you what, I would appreciate a coffee date. Because you know why? We're going to figure out if there's a spark, if there's an interest. I don't want to spend a whole night with somebody who I don't want to be with. I don't know about you, but
Mhm.
that coffee is low commitment. It can be quick. But guess what? I've had coffee dates in the past, and that coffee date turned into a lunch date the same day.
Come
Because
on.
there was something more for us to talk about. There was something more for us to do. And also, we should not be expecting people to do things for us that we can't do for ourselves. So,
Mhm.
if you can afford to take yourself out to a five-star restaurant, I don't think you would be so proud about somebody else doing it because you can do it for yourself.
Come on, sis. Sister came here and preached this good morning. Okay. I definitely want to say I definitely want to say I love how you said that it provides you with an outright. Dating is a very interesting thing. And as I said, that people say that it's ghetto out here. So if you can go on a coffee date, you're right. Like you can get it out. You don't have to be stuck there for an hour because somebody spent $5,000 on you at a restaurant and then they want to have a nightcap on top of it because they spent $5,000. You can go ahead and have your little 15-minute coffee date if that's what it comes down to. All right. We have another caller. Oh goodness. Okay, the lines are lighting up today. Thank you so much, Ebony, for joining us. We'll go ahead and take the next caller.
Thank you so much, and shout out to you, Lynn.
Yeah, yeah.
Bye.
All right. Caller, are you there? Caller, are you there? Uh-oh. Did we lose him? Okay, we lost them. Maybe they'll come back. All right, y'all. So this has been really good. Thank y'all so much for joining in on this conversation with me today. We have some awesome more topics coming up for us to talk about. The next thing, we going to go on a music break. Okay, we're gonna take a quick music break, y'all, and then we'll be right back to talk about these restaurants we're eating at. TKO Radio, and this is the She Wins Show with your favorite coach, Andromeda. We are live every Tuesday and Thursday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., bringing you that information, inspiration, entertainment, and the game plan you need to win in life and business. So we've had some really good conversations. If you have been tuning in, we've been talking about these infamous dating lists. And I want to get into something else because we talked about restaurants just recently and where we don't mind being taken to because the ladies, the consensus is that we are okay with the Cheesecake Factory, all right? But also, speaking of eating good, let's talk about Keith Lee, TikTok's popular food critic. He has been out here reviewing Atlanta restaurants, y'all, and he has been exposing both strengths and challenges. Some of the restaurants that he has visited already are some very popular ones that we know of, including Old Lady Gang, owned by Candy Burris. What I want to talk about this is not so much about his critique, because Keith seems like a very humble guy who is just out here trying to, if he can, celebrate somebody's business he is, but he's just giving his honest reviews, and I love the way that he's going about doing it. He's not letting them know in advance if he's coming. He also doesn't want any special treatment, right? He just wants to be able to show how regular, everyday people are having these experiences at these restaurants, which I think is awesome because one of the conversations I've been having with a lot of women in my circle lately is that customer service has been poor lately. Has anybody else been experiencing that? Like, we go into these places and sometimes we just feel like they're treating us like we're doing them a favor by showing up to their businesses, spending money with them. And I think we got to do better out here, especially when we're talking about Black-owned businesses. I think that there's already this stigma, right? There's already this stereotype when it comes to Black-owned businesses about how we treat one another, how our customer service is. There's already this kind of an expectation that we're not going to be up to par, right? And so I want to definitely speak on this because, again, Keith being out here, him highlighting some of these really popular restaurants and seeing how some people are getting preferential treatment over others. Some people are not offering the service that they say that they're going to offer. Some people can definitely do better in terms of their customer service. I definitely want us to talk about this, right? Can we talk about business etiquette? Because I think that especially in these days, it's become very glamorous to own a business, right? Especially with social media. There's so many people who are opening businesses, becoming entrepreneurs. And a lot of these people have not experienced any type of customer service education. A lot of these people are not considering the customer, and when it comes to producing their services or delivering their services. And so I want us to talk about this, all right? How many of us, if you're listening right now, when was the last time that you went somewhere and had some really good customer service? Now, I want to say this. If you've been somewhere and had some really, really good customer service, I want you to do that business a favor today. And I want you to go in their Google reviews, and I want you to leave them a really good review and let them know that you appreciate their service and what they did for them. Because just as much as the critiques matter, the praises matter too, right? We want to let people know when they're doing a good job. But also, businesses, when somebody lets you know that they are not satisfied with the service they receive, we gotta know how to handle that, right? Because there has been some talk about how a popular restaurant responded to Keith Lee when he critiqued the service that he provided. It was kind of shady. People weren't really feeling how they handled that, right? They basically was like they didn't know who he was. And I guess because if they didn't know who he was, then he wasn't important enough for them to be able to address that in the way that it needed to be addressed. However, all of us, every single one of us, I'm a business owner myself. Every business only exists because of its customers. The moment you don't have customers anymore is the moment you are going out of business. And so each time that we interact with a person is an opportunity for us to grow our business, right? What we know about people is that word of mouth is everything. Whenever I have a good experience at a business, I'm going to tell people that I had a good experience. But guess what? Whenever I have a bad experience, I'm also going to tell people that. And they say that people are more quickly to shout out their critiques, and they're more likely to whisper, right, their good experiences. So you want to make sure that every time that you interact with somebody, you are giving them an experience that they're going to want to tell people about. Even with social media being what it is, even with being able to do ads and things like that, I still think that the number one way to grow your business is word of mouth. People are, when they can speak to somebody and they say, hey, I had a good experience, that already builds that level of trust with them and to go and to experience that business, right? So we want to make sure that we're doing this. I want to share some tips for proper business etiquette when handling customer complaints for any of us who may not know what that looks like. And so some of the steps for handling customer complaints, according to MailChimp, is one, listen to the customer, y'all. So I know that some of us do not like accountability. We do not like criticism. Our first thing that we want to do when somebody tells us we're not doing something right is to get defensive, right? We don't want to hear it. It hurts our feelings. But business is business. And so you have to take your personal feelings out of it. If somebody is saying that you're not doing something as well as they expected, that's an opportunity for you to learn how to do it better. Again, you're only in business because of your customers. And I want us to make sure that as I'm talking about this subject, if you are an entrepreneur or if you are a consumer, definitely call in and let's talk about this. Tell me about some of your experiences that you've had and some things that you feel like business owners could do better in their businesses. Give me a call at 678-439-7419. All right. And then also show empathy. Oh my goodness. Put yourself in the customer's shoes. I think that it's easy for us to say that we know what it's like to like go to a business. We all know when we step into a grocery store, when we step into a nail salon, when we step into a barbershop, when we step into any place of business, we know we want to be treated with care. We know that we want to be understood. We know that we want to be accepted. We know that we want to get what we paid for. So show that same empathy and concern for your customers. Understand that they are people, they're human too. And then apologize, right? If anybody has ever worked in any customer service position, you have heard the customer is always right. Now, we do know that sometimes the customer isn't right, but you can still apologize. Again, apologizing is just acknowledging that person's experience. Sometimes you're not going to see it from their perspective. Sometimes you're not going to understand why they're upset, but an apology can go a long way. And a lot of times, that's all people are looking for. It's just that you acknowledge their feelings. And then ask thorough questions, right? Ask them what they you can actually fix for them, and then loop in anybody necessary that can help to address this issue. And of course, find a swift solution, right? That's also what people are looking for. They don't want to sit there and talk about their pains and their problems for 15 minutes. They really would rather you just say, you know what, the mill's on me. And then they'll just go on about their business, right? And then, of course, you want to follow up with them to make sure that they are now satisfied with the experience. Because again, like I said, people are going to share their experiences with other people, and it can really make a difference between whether somebody is going to go to your business or whether they're not. There are definitely places in my life that I have stayed away from simply because my family members or friends have said, oh, I didn't have a good experience there. And guess what? I take their word for it. Now I need to try it for myself. All right. So that is what I want to share with us about business etiquette, y'all. Let's do better. If you have a business, always be striving to do better. All right. Now let's get into some celebrity birthdays. Speaking of celebrities, owning restaurants, I am a birthday person, y'all. I love birthdays. I think that birthdays are like one of the most important days of a person's life. It's just another way to acknowledge that you have a purpose, that your life has meaning, that you are blessed to see another year. I delight in getting older. I know some people don't, but I delight in getting older because not everybody does, you know? So I want to talk about some celebrity birthdays. I want to shout out some celebrity birthdays. And if you have a birthday today, or if you know someone who has a birthday today, again, give me a call. Shout them out on the airwaves. Call 678-439-7419. All right, so today's birthday is retired Atlanta Falcon, Roddy White. Happy birthday, Roddy. Also, record producer Stevie J. Actor David Schwimmer from Friends, y'all. We're going to send him some love because we know that we recently lost a Friends co-star, Matthew Perry. Rest in peace to Matthew. Singer and rapper Des Dior is her birthday is today. Actress Lauren Velez and her twin sister Lorraine Velez. Happy heavenly birthday to rapper Prodigy, who would have been 48 years old today. And rapper Nelly's birthday is today. Woo woo! Happy birthday, Nelly. So, you know, it's been a lot of talk about Nelly lately because him and Ashanti have rekindled their relationship, which I think is so sweet. I think a lot of us were rooting for them, right? Like, we love to see them back in the day. And now that they're back together, it's just so cute. It's so sweet to see. So I want to say that, you know, I love it. I love to see it. And have you guys seen the sweet video that's been going on social media where Shanti gifted him the custom Impala of his dreams for his 49th birthday? So earlier we talking about what the women's expectations of are the men, but shout out to the women who also spoil their men. Men deserve to be spoiled too, right? When they're acting right, when they're doing right, show your man some love, okay? So we're based on TMZ, or according to TMZ, the artist got a 1962 Impala convertible. The candy apple blue ride is equipped with a Corvette L's motor and a sound system with Nelly's logo on it. Okay, sis snapped, right? She knew exactly what her man wanted and she got it. I think those are like the best gifts, right? Gifts that you actually want. At this point in my life, I'm always asking my friends, like, what do you want in this season? I'm not gonna just send you some random candle or some random thing off Amazon. Like, what do you need for real, sis? Because I don't know about anybody else, but I'm in my late 30s. And I just want stuff that I'm gonna actually use. Nothing else. Send me a gift card, sis. Okay. The thought does count though, for real. But send me whatever. Speaking of spinning the block, y'all. So I said I was going to talk about this today. If you are on my email list at shewinsstudy.com, or if you are following She Wins Society on Instagram, you saw that one of the topics today is spinning the block. All right. So this is not at all what you were thinking about. Oftentimes we think about spinning the block. We think about what? We think about you returning to an old relationship, right? That's not what I'm talking about in a couple minutes. The actual definition that I'm using when I talk about spinning the block is it symbolizes the act of revisiting the past and reconnecting with one's roots. It emphasizes the importance of staying grounded and remembering where one came from, even in the face of success. So today I'm going to talk to you about how spinning the block can actually benefit you financially. And I'm going to do that after we come back from this quick music break. Again, you are tuning into the She Wins radio show on 101 TKO Radio. Stay locked in here. We'll be right back. Hey, you are tuned into 101 TKO Radio, and this is the She Wins Show with your favorite coach, Andromeda, coming to you live every Tuesday and Thursday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'm bringing you information, inspiration, entertainment, and the game plan to win in life and business. We have been talking about so much today, so much good conversation. I thank you all who have been tuning in with me. I thank you all who have been calling in with me. If you have something to share, say, or contribute, if you have a shout out, if you have a comment, feel free to give me a call at 678-439-7419. I want to hear from you. If you've been following me on social media, if you're on my email list, you have heard me say already that I don't want this to just be my show. I want it to be our show. I want this show to impact our community. I want this show to elevate women. So let's do this together, sisters, okay? So before we went to our music break, I talked about spinning the block and what that meant to me in this particular scenario. So we're not talking about spinning the block like going back to your ex, because I mean, apparently that worked for Nelly and Ashanti. And I do believe that people do grow. However, me personally, whenever God moves me away from something, it's got to be God that's going to bring me back to it. Otherwise, I'm keeping my face forward, my legs forward, and I'm going to keep on moving forward. Okay. But this spinning the block I'm talking about is sometimes we gotta go back to where we came from. So y'all know out here that it's been rough, right? Financially, I think for a lot of people, people who were living paycheck to paycheck are really, really struggling right now. Those of us who are a little bit above board, we're like looking funny right now with inflation, with the cost of groceries being sky high, with gas prices fluctuating. I mean, it's just been high. Actually, if I could be completely transparent with you, one of the reasons that caused me to move to Atlanta was that I was renting an apartment in Orlando, Florida, and out of the clear blue sky, our apartment complex said they were going to raise our rent by $300. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, so, okay, like, what is happening in the world today? All of these things are going up except our paychecks, right? Everything is going up except our paychecks. And so I had a moment. I was like, oh, yeah, no, this is no longer making sense for me. I said, this don't even feel safe out here for me to be renting, and y'all could just raise my rent by $300 like it's nothing. I'm like, I got to get into home ownership. I have got to get my own house. So one of the things, like I said, that sparked me moving to Atlanta was saying, okay, we got to get a house. So where we want to buy a house. We know the purchasing the house in Atlanta, typically we've heard in Georgia that you get more bang for your buck, right? You're going to get more land, you're going to get more space, you're going to get more of a lot of things purchasing a home in Georgia versus Florida. So that's one of the things that brought us here. But also, there's been some conversation about what that looks like when we have to move home. Now, I didn't move home, but some of us are in a position right now where things are looking really funny, like trying to be a single person trying to survive in life right now. Again, paying rent that is super high, groceries that are super high. A lot of us are feeling very, very uncomfortable financially. So how do y'all feel about if you had to move home, if you had to move in with your parents again, maybe after being out of the house since you was 18 years old? How are y'all feeling about that? So here's what I want to say about this, okay? I am one of those people who truly believe that you have to live within your means, right? I know that social media, again, have us out here feeling like we have to be doing the most. We have to be, faking the funk. We have to be putting on for other people. But at the end of the day, we have to live in our own skin. We have to create our own peace. We have to make whatever sacrifices are necessary. We have to do what we have to do to survive out here. And so I want to say that if you are in a space where you do have to spin the block, right, you have to take a moment and say, it's not really working for me in this current state that I'm in to be living here in a certain space by myself. Maybe it would make more sense for me financially and my family financially if we moved in together. If I moved back home, there is no shame in that, sis. That's what I want to tell you. There is no shame in taking a step back to catapult yourself forward, okay? Sometimes you have to move differently in order to get better, right? As Fantasia said, sometimes you got to lose to win again, right? Sometimes you have to give up the things that you want in order to get the things that you really, really need, and actually to create a life that be far better than you can imagine. So I want to hear from y'all again. If you are tuning in with me right now, how are you feeling about inflation right now? How are you feeling about these current prices in the grocery store? What are you doing to make sure that you're still living a good quality of life while trying to budget and manage your expenses? All right. But if you need to, again, if you need to make any changes, whether that be you downsizing from a 2 bedroom to a 1 bedroom, whether that be you moving in and get with a roommate, whether that be you moving back in with your parents, whatever is necessary for you to do in this current season of your life, I just want you to know there is no shame in that. You do not have to feel bad about having to make different moves or make different changes in your life because, again, sometimes you have to take a step back to catapult yourself forward. And so for me, that looked like, again, making a major move from a state that I have lived in since I was 8 years old in order to position myself to purchase a house so that I will never again be in a position where I have to worry about my landlord increasing my rent by $300 out of nowhere. I have a caller on the line. Caller, are you there? Caller, are you there? Hey, who's on the line? Hey, Linda, how are you? I am doing good. What do you have to contribute to the conversation?
This is something you're talking on right now.
Okay, what you got, sis? Hello?
I don't know. You cannot right. So do I call? I'm not supposed to talk like you're talking.
No, you can talk right now. I can hear you.
I'm a bit confused here because I'm sitting in live and
You might need to turn your radio off.
I think that okay, I think that my replay is a bit backward, so I would okay. So my I was sitting in live and I think my replay myself is coming in backward, so I can hear you on my other phone and then here, so I'm kind of like the confusion of the delay. But congratulations, it's exciting. I've been listening, I'm doing the conversation and just wanted to come on to support, tell you congratulations. And just regarding because inflation, I feel it's a real feeling. It's affecting everybody across the board in one way or another. I remember, last year I had a crazy, deadly, almost deadly accident with my car. The same car that we purchased for almost $70,000 in 18 was $90,000 to purchase, this year. So it's affecting everybody. And I totally agree with you. We have to understand our circumstances. And in order to get better or where you're going, you have to take the necessary steps where you are now to prepare you for where you desire to be. Whether it's moving back home, whether it's moving with a friend, there's no shame in that. And so long as you understand that it's not a destination, but it's a journey, you take those necessary steps. And when you get to the places where it's not your destination, don't get comfortable, right? It's just a time for you to do what you need to do so you can then get to where you desire to be. But it's very honorable for somebody that will pass on this and moving back home because I want to make some adjustments to get to where I have to be. I've actually had some, I know some people that have done that recently and I'm saying, listen, that's what you have to do right now, so, go for it. But, we also shouldn't, I personally choose to compromise, my lifestyle and my circumstances. So I think that the question we all have to ask ourselves is, what is important to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether is it travel, is it, buying a house, is it, staying home? What is important to you? What are the things that bring you joy and fulfillment? Because I believe whatever we do in life, we all desire one thing, fulfillment. Whether it's, more money, whether it's that job, whether it's opening that business, it's about how does that thing make you feel? Does it bring you fulfillment? So what is important to you? What do you have to do to get that fulfillment in life? What kind of person you understand the things that the people that are important to you, when you start making certain sacrifices, you can know, the things you maybe let go in such a way that you don't compromise the things that bring you joy and fulfillment. So I think that whether you're moving home or, buying the next car, buying a house, thought is never good. I just think that one question we always have to ask ourselves is, what is it that brings you the most fulfillment in life? What are the things and people that bring you the most fulfillment in life? Because those are the things that we never want to compromise. And that's all I have to share again. Congratulations, and I will continue to listen.
Thank you so much, Linda. Okay, I'm loving how the sisters are coming on here and just sharing their perspectives and absolutely preaching. Okay, sis dropped some really great drip gems. I hope that y'all pick those up. Okay, we have to do what's best for us. We have to do what's best for us. We have to do what's best for us. I cannot stress that enough. When you wake up in the morning and you go to sleep, you are waking up in your body. You are going to sleep in your body. Despite what you may try to project to the world and project to social media, you have to live with you. So that question that Linda asked, what fulfills you? What brings you peace, happiness, and joy? That's what you really need to think about. And then you have to make your choices based off of that. And again, there is no shame in taking a step back to move forward. Thank you so much again, Linda, for calling in. I love it. I love it. I love it. You guys, as we continue on these conversations, feel free to chime in as well. Call me at 678-439-7419. So, speaking of the world and what in the world is going on in it, there's a lot going on, right? You all, I'm sure, have seen that there is currently a couple of wars. We know that there's still the war between Russia and Ukraine. We know that there's now this war happening in the Middle East. Y'all, what are we doing? Are we calling for a ceasefire or not? That's what I want to know. There's currently a war happening in Israel and Palestine. There are definitely two different views that are happening about this war. While some people are saying that Israel has a right to defend themselves, other people are saying that the way that Israel is going about defending themselves is genocide. How are we feeling about this topic? I felt like I definitely needed to bring this up today because there are a lot of feelings and emotions that people are feeling regarding this topic, and we're all going to eventually be impacted by it, right? Sometimes we feel like things are happening so far away from us that it can't touch us, but actually there are world reports that are saying that the U.S. economy will be impacted by this war should it continue. We can expect to see gas prices increasing. We can expect to see our oil being affected. So it's getting real out here. So I want to just touch on a couple of things that are happening right now with this war. And so right now, we did see that Joe Biden has requested that there be a pause on the conflict to get hostages out, right? So people have been calling for a ceasefire. People have been calling, hundreds of thousands of people have been calling for a ceasefire in Gaza to allow for medical aid to come in, for humanitarian aid to come in, for people who have been injured to be able to get assistance, for water, food, necessary supplies to get into Gaza, and for innocent civilians to be protected. So we've been calling for a ceasefire, and it seems now that yesterday, President Biden calls for a pause in Israel-Gaza conflict to get hostages out. We also saw that a border was opened in, oh my goodness, I just forgot the name of the country. You all forgive me. A border was just opened in Egypt in order to allow Palestinians, the people of Gaza, to exit out and to get medical care. So we definitely see that this thing is happening in the world. Some of us are, we don't want to do, performative actions on social media. We don't necessarily want to speak to this conflict. However, in any time of life, whenever we see that things are happening, we do have a right to lift our voice in any way that we feel that we want to. And I also want to just put my truth on it, is that I just believe that two things can be true at one time, right? I believe that violence is never the answer. I believe that anybody who is feeling like they are under attack does have the right to defend themselves. I also believe that all innocent civilians should be considered and should be protected in these situations. So that is what I have to say about it. I want to keep all parties in my prayers. I'm going to keep all of us in my prayers as we see that things are continuously kind of escalating around the world. And I ask that all of us just keep each other in prayer. Remember to be kind, right, to one another. Remember that we never know what anybody is going through. And just remember that we're all in this together. We are all a human family, and none of us are free unless all of us are free. Okay, so that's what I want to share about that. And then I want to talk about this month's theme. Before I do that though, let's go ahead and take a quick music break, you all. This is again She Wins Radio on 101 TKO Radio. Come back with me. Stay locked in. And we're live here outside. Hey sis, hey, we are back. You are tuned into 101 TKO Radio, and this is the She Wins Show with your favorite coach, Andromeda, coming to you live every Tuesday and Thursday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So, before the music break, we were talking about just the world, right? All the things that are going on in the world, and sometimes how this can be heavy. Sometimes it can affect our mental health, and sometimes we just be tired of it, right? So, I want to share that in She Wins Society, if you're not familiar with She Wins Society is a social wellness center organization that I founded, and we really focus on helping women to develop their personal growth, to focus on self care, and to cultivate meaningful relationships with other women. And so we have monthly personal growth challenges, and this month's challenge is No Negativity November. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. No Negativity November. So listen, we do know that whether you are scrolling social media, whether you are watching the news, whether you are at the water cooler in your workplace, there is always somewhere or somebody who may have some negative energy going on. And sometimes, if we're honest, we are the ones who are carrying the negative energy, right? We woke up on the wrong side of the bed. We let some negative thoughts to mess us up and knock us off course. We are talking negatively to ourselves. So I want to challenge every woman who is listening to the sound of my voice right now, and you know what, the brothers too, anybody who is listening to the sound of my voice right now, to accept this challenge and commit to No Negativity November. So what that means is no entertaining those negative thoughts, y'all. Listen, we are human. So it's inevitable for a negative thought to pop up in your mind, right? That negative thought could be a thought about yourself. It could be a thought about your current circumstances. It could be a thought about other people. But if a negative thought pops up into your head, you get to choose whether you are going to engage with that thought or not, whether you are going to entertain that thought or not, whether you are going to feed that thought or not. So for this No Negativity November, I want to challenge you to not feed the negative thoughts. One of the things that I do as a life coach is I help women to overcome thinking, right? And one of the ways that you can do that is to, as soon as a negative thought pops up into your head, like something like, life will never get better for me, go ahead and pluck that thought out of your head and replace it with a positive affirmation. Something like, I am on a journey and life is getting better every single day. I am becoming a better person every day. I am learning and growing as I go. Life is becoming beautiful for me. Life is beautiful for me. I am grateful for all of my blessings, but choose something else to think besides that negative thought. Also, no negative conversations. Listen, again, it's easy for us to get caught up in some low vibrational conversation, right? Somebody has now pulled you into some gossip. Somebody has pulled you into some just dusty conversation about other people. And what we know is that successful people do not talk about people, right? We are not small-minded people. We spend more time talking about what we're going to do, how we need to improve, and a whole lot less time talking about what other people are not doing or what other people are doing that may be negative. So no negative conversations, right? There's a million other things for us that we could be doing on a regular basis besides having negative conversations. And I think that time is one of our most valuable assets, right? That's one of those things that once it's gone, you can never go back. We can't get it back. None of us have a rewind button, right? None of us can say, oh, I'm gonna go back 5 minutes from now and change that time I wasted having that conversation that was low vibrational. It didn't do anything for me. It didn't help me. It didn't encourage me. It didn't empower me. It didn't inspire me. So let's be mindful of the conversations that we're having and the time that we're spending and what we're doing with that time, right? Let's not waste our time. Every moment of every day should be spent figuring out a way for you to improve yourself, figuring out a way for you to be of service to others, figuring out a way for you to be operating in your purpose. All right. So no negative conversations. Also, no consuming negative content. Oh my goodness. So I know this is hard for some of us, and somebody might not want to hear this, but there's some pages you need to unfollow on social media, sis. those pages have been draining you of your energy and you don't even notice it. Or maybe you have noticed it and you're just like, oh, I don't want to be, I don't want to unfollow. Maybe you want to be passive aggressive and mute them instead. Whatever you need to do, but get it out of your eyesight, sis. Stop following things, stop listening to things, stop consuming things that are causing you to think in a way that is not beneficial to you. Okay? So no consuming negative content. If that podcast, if that social media page, if that channel on your Roku, whatever it is, if it is not positive for you, sis, if it's not encouraging you, inspiring you, empowering you, encouraging you, making you think higher and move better and win bigger, I need you to unsubscribe, okay? So no more consuming negative content, especially in the month of November, and no participating in negative behavior, okay? So negative behavior can include anything from bad habits that we have, right? Some of us know we have bad habits. Some of us have been feeling this tug and pull from God, from our spirit, from our soul, saying, it's time for you to do better, sis. It's time for you to stop eating that way. It's time for you to stop drinking that way. It's time for you to stop smoking that way. It's time for you to stop doing certain things that are, again, affecting your mind, affecting your body, affecting your spirit, affecting your emotions, affecting your brain, affecting you in a negative way. So let's commit to participating in no negative behavior and find out exactly how you might feel, right? Find out how you'll feel if you abstain from negative behavior for 30 days. Let's see how your life will elevate. Because one thing I say all the time is that you know what life looks like doing what you've always done. Why not try something different, right? Why not try doing something different to see what life can become when you step outside of your comfort zone, when you make the choice to become a better version of yourself, when you make the choice to let go of things that are no longer serving you or maybe never served you in the first place, right? Also, this not just saying negative behavior, it also includes being mindful of the people you're hanging out with, right? And the things that they are trying to influence you to do. Because I remember when I was younger, I definitely had people in my circle who would influence me to do all kinds of things that was just really out of pocket, right? I look back at it now like, oh my God, girl, like you really had no business doing that. Truthfully, you knew you shouldn't have been doing it, but because you're in a circle with certain people, they make doing these things seem acceptable, right? Where you feel pressured to do it even when you don't want to. And so no participate in negative behavior. If you find yourself in spaces and around people who are influencing you to do things that you know are not right for you, that you know are not good for you, say no, sis. Set those boundaries, remove yourself from the space, but just do not allow yourself to fall into things that you know are going to be negative and self-sabotaging and ultimately not beneficial for your health. All right, so this is No Negativity November. If you are tuning in with me live right now, I want you to give me a call, 678-439-7419. Let me know what you think about No Negativity November. Are you going to accept the challenge, sis? Are you going to join me in the Members of She Wins Society and abstaining for all negativity for the month of November? Because guess what? When we do this month, it's going to set a habit, right? It's going to prepare us to continue these habits in December, and we get ready to start a new year, right? We always say, new year, new me. Well, a new year, new you requires you to do things differently. So we don't have to wait until January 1st to start new year, new me. The good time to start is right now so that you can step into January 2024 as a better version of yourself, prepared to reach your goals and prepared to be in a mindset to win. All right. So no negativity November. So as I mentioned, one of the things that really affects us when it comes to negativity is the way we speak to ourselves. So I want to talk about bonnets, BBLs, and body positivity. All right. Because one of the things that affects women the most is how we see ourselves and how we speak to ourselves. Our confidence needs to be on 100% in order for us to win. One thing that I tell my clients, one thing that I tell She Wins Society members is you need you to win. So if we're going to decide to be positive, right? If we're going to choose to stay from negativity and to embrace positivity, to exude positivity, one of the things that we absolutely need to do is to be mindful of how we are treating ourselves. It seems that when it comes to women and our appearances, we're just always under scrutiny, right? We hear people tell us, okay, you can't wear the bonnets outside. We hear people talking about the BBLs. We hear people talking about body positivity. And while I think that these discussions are important for us to have, I think what's the most important thing for us to be doing as women is encouraging us to feel confident in ourselves. not necessarily criticizing what we're doing, but empowering us to do better, right? Not picking on the sis or criticizing the sis who's walking around in a bonnet, but finding a way that you can support her to feel more confident in wearing her natural hair, whatever is happening up underneath that bonnet, right? Or putting her in a position to make more money so that she can get her hair done if that's what's happening. Whatever the case may be, we win bigger when we support each other, right? And so we've heard these discussions, right? We had our good sis Monique go on live, and while some people appreciated her message, some people were offended by it, but she said, "Stop going out in the bonnet, sis." So here's what I'm gonna say about this. Again, I'm all for women doing what makes them feel most confident. However, what we know is that one of the keys to success is to look good and feel good, right? When you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you look good, right? And as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a purpose-driven woman, what I know is that there is opportunity everywhere that you go. And so you never know who you might be in any particular space, even if you're just running to the gas station, even if you're just running to the grocery store, you never know who might be in that space, who might have an opportunity waiting for you. And we live in a world where beauty is $1 billion industry for a reason, because people are checking for how you look and they are judging the book by a cover. So you want to be making sure that you are presenting yourself at the best that you can at all times, right? So that you don't miss out on any opportunities, whether that's meeting a new friend, whether that's meeting a new bae, whether that's getting a business opportunity, whatever it is, just make sure you're showing up as your best, okay? And then I want to definitely talk about these BBLs because it's a big conversation, right? As I said, beauty is $1 billion industry for a reason. As women, we have to realize that there is a constant attack on our appearance, right? We are constantly being told how we need to look, how we need to dress, what is acceptably socially, what beauty really is. And so this has caused a lot of us to make choices when it comes to our bodies that may not be as healthy, right? And so this recent article that I read about BBLs is that BBL deaths have risen. They have risen, and that nationwide more than 60,000 people in the year will undergo cosmetic surgery, but Brazilian butt lifts are among the highest death rates when it comes to plastic surgery. Now, here's what I want to say about this, because we have to be careful when it comes to trends in our appearances, right? Like, we look back over time and we look at women's eyebrows. Like, look how much our eyebrows have changed over the years, right? At one point, they were like really thin. Now they're thicker. Like, we have been following the trends of wherever, and we don't know where this is coming from, right? Whoever is coming up with these ideas of how we need to look, we've been following these trends. I find it very interesting that while BBLs have become a really big trend based on our celebrity friends, many of these women are now turning around and saying that that was not the best decision, and they're having these cosmetic surgeries reversed, right? So I want us to be very careful about the things that we are looking at and the things that we are subscribing to when it comes to women and beauty, and think the trends that we are hopping on, because again, women are literally dying from going under the knife. Also, women are also coming out of that experience and feeling like they wish they had never done it, and they can't go back in time and reverse the damage that has been done. So what I want to encourage us to do is to learn to love ourselves. Truly love who you are. Be yourself. Be your authentic self. Get in that mirror naked, and love on you. Remind yourself that you are beautifully made. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. That God made no mistakes when he made you. The stretch marks, the imperfections, you are still beautiful. And I want to say this too. Some of us are making these cosmetic decisions for ourselves, but many of us are also making these cosmetic decisions because society has said this is what men like, this is what men find beautiful. But guess what? There's a sis out here who the world might say she's obese, she's overweight, she's not pretty, she's not beautiful, and sis is married, happily married at that, okay? So there is somebody for everybody. Your soulmate, the one that you were created for, is not checking for your stretch marks, sis, okay? That person is not checking for that. Also, if we're being honest with ourselves, a lot of these women who are subscribed to this idea of what perfection looks like or what beauty looks like, they are also struggling to find relationships and maintain relationships. So we know that our outer appearance is definitely not what is the thing that is determining how well our relationships go. And I think that as women, again, we have a responsibility to one another to stop putting this pressure on each other to be perfect. And I think that once each and every one of us decides to step out and be more authentic to ourselves, we give permission to other women to do the same. All right. So we're going to take a quick music break, and then we're going to come back and talk about this collaboration over competition and why this is important for us to subscribe to. Again, you are tuning into 101 TKO Radio. This is the She Wins Show. Coach Andromeda, stay locked in. We'll be right back.
What I know about courage, I learned
Hey sis, hey, we are back and you are tuned into 101 TKO Radio. This is the She Wins Show with your favorite coach, Andromeda, coming to you live every Tuesday and Thursday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'm bringing you information, inspiration, entertainment, and the game plan to win in life and business. We talked about so many good things today. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. I definitely want to just say that collaboration is greater than competition. We've heard it a million times. However, we have to understand that that is where our growth is. That is where our success is in collaboration. I shared that me being here, me having this opportunity came from me making a connection with Chelsea Speaks, the owner of 101 TKO Radio, 5 years ago. Back then, Sis did not have a radio station. Sis was just building her thing up, and I was inviting her to speak on my platforms. And now, 5 years later, she has her own radio station, and here I am. She's pulled up a seat for me at her table, and that is how collaboration works, you all. I always say never, ever, ever discount where somebody currently is, because you never know where somebody is going. So every time that we get an opportunity to love on one another, to provide opportunities to one another, to support each other, we must do it. That is what we're here for. As women, as people, we all have a purpose. We are all connected, okay? I say that we are all like puzzle pieces, right? And when we all are fitting in the space that we were created to fit in, when we are operating in the purpose that God created each of us to create, to be operating in, we make this beautiful picture, right? There doesn't have to be any tension. There doesn't have to be any confusion. There is enough room for us all to win. So I want you to just think about that. Close your eyes and visualize you putting together a puzzle, right? You know that there is a space for each and every one of those pieces to go in. But what happens when you try to put a piece in a space that it doesn't belong in, right? It disrupts the entire picture. However, each of us, if we just do what God called us to do, we create this beautiful picture together. There's enough room for us all to win, and our connections are our most valuable currency. So once again, I want to say thank you to you for tuning in with me today. Thank you to everyone who called in and contributed to the conversation. Thanks to everybody who has been sharing out this show, sharing out the flyer. Thank you to everybody who has downloaded the 101 TKO Radio app. Yes, come on. Download the app on your phone. Make sure that you stay locked in. There's an amazing number of shows on this radio show. Make sure that you are staying locked in. Make sure that you are supporting what we are building here in the Atlanta community, because when we win, everybody wins. All right. So I also want to share with you, we've been talking about No Negativity November, and I want to share with you some things that you can do to be positive this month, along with getting out there and connecting with positive people. That's number one on the list, right? Some of us are feeling drained. We're feeling tired. We're feeling uninspired. And that's because we are not connecting. We are not allowing ourselves to have these experiences with other people. We're not meeting new people. We over here talking about no new friends and then wondering why we don't feel supported. Okay, so get out there and meet people. But some other things that you can do is that you can, it's fall season, right? We're preparing for New Year. So get in your house, get in your apartment, wherever you reside, and do some decluttering, right? Clean out your closet. Get rid of some stuff that you're no longer using. Create space, right? Out with the old, in with the new. Create space for greater. Start journaling. Journaling is definitely a positive thing to do. It allows you to get all of your feelings out. It's scientifically proven that journaling is good for your emotional and mental health. Healing occurs through journaling. It allows you to reflect. It allows you to be grateful for your blessings. It's really, really good to journal. Also, it's a relaxing thing to do. You can start decorating for Thanksgiving. It's right around the corner, right? Thanksgiving is right around the corner. And we're going to talk about that on the next show. We're going to talk about Thanksgiving and how to get prepared for Thanksgiving, because some of us feel a little bit anxious about Thanksgiving, right? Some of us get a little anxious when it comes to being around our family. So I'm going to talk about some things that you can do to make sure that you have a joyful Thanksgiving wherever you are. You can start making New Year's plans, right? Start preparing for the future and give yourself something to look forward to. Of course, holiday movies are always a fun thing to participate in, to do, to lift your spirits. And you can go see a Christmas light show, right? Get out in the city that you're in. I always say this, like sometimes we are sitting in the house and we're so bored, there's nothing to do. I guarantee you there are so many untapped resources in the community that you're currently in. There are opportunities for you to get out and volunteer, to be of service to other people, to attend events and festivals that you've never attended before. Just get out in your community. And then you can also plan a Friendsgiving. Okay, so I will tell you that She Wins Society has a Friendsgiving. We have an annual Friendsgiving in our membership community. It's an online gathering. We get together, all of our sisters from around the world get together on this online platform, and we just connect, right? We catch up with one another. We share what we're grateful for. We do a gift exchange. So if you've been looking to meet new women, if you want to put yourself in positive spaces with like-minded women who are also working on their personal growth and becoming their best selves, I definitely encourage you to visit SheWinsSociety.com and check out our membership and participate in our Friendsgiving this year on November 17th, Friday, November 17th. Okay. And then also, I want to share that we have an upcoming event, Stepping into Sisterhood, the ultimate virtual empowerment experience. Okay, we are talking about cultivating connections this year. So if you're not familiar with Stepping into Sisterhood, this is an annual event that we host. Prior to the pandemic, we hosted it in numerous cities around the country. We would actually go on tour each year and host this event. During the pandemic, we made it a virtual event. And since the pandemic, I guess you could say, it's over, we have brought it back to a live event, but we also decided to host it virtually as well for those who could not attend with us live in Orlando. So Stepping into Sisterhood is happening this Saturday from 12 to 3 p.m. And so it's an absolutely free event. All you have to do is go to SheWinsSociety.com and register for free. You will get a link to attend this event. We have power-packed panels. We are talking about things like how to overcome past heartbreak and disappointment from female interactions, right? Some of us are not out here connecting with other women simply because we had our feelings hurt in the past and now we don't know how to act, right? We don't want to deal with one another. We're also going to be talking about how to network effectively and follow up. Also, a very important skill to have. Networking is so important, especially, again, whether you have a career or whether you're in business. Networking is one of those things where, like they say, it's not always about what you know, but who you know. Who you know can open some doors for you, sis, okay? And then also we are going to be talking about how to build a supportive community and sisterhood. Community is so important. Just like what we're building here at 101 TKO Radio, just like what we're building here at Privy, we are building community. Community is what sustains us. Community is what helps us thrive to succeed in life and in business. So I definitely want to help you to do that. So make sure that you visit SheWinsSociety.com, sign up for Stepping into Sisterhood, check out our membership, put yourself in spaces with people who are doing positive things that are going to encourage and empower you forward. And as I said, make sure that you download the 101 TKO Radio app. Like, do it right now so that you do not miss out on anything that's coming forward. Make sure that you tune in live with me every Tuesday and Thursday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. so that you can keep getting this inspiration, information, entertainment, and game plan to win in life and in business. And also make sure that you reach out to me, okay? So if you want to see yourself, you want to be a guest on the She Wins radio show, send me an email, hi@SheWinsSociety.com, and let me know. Let me know what you want to talk about, and we'll see if we can get you here and be a guest live in person in our studio in Stonecrest Mall or over the phone. You can choose to join me both ways, but send me an email, hi@SheWinsSociety.com, and we will see about getting you on the show. Also, be sure that you are calling in every time that you hear us live. Call in at 678-439-7419. Go ahead and save that number on your phone right now under 101 TKO Radio, so you will be ready to call in and participate in the conversations that we're having. And also, if you have a special guest, right? I'm all about putting your people on. Maybe you're not ready to be a special guest. Maybe that's not your thing. You know somebody who should be a special guest on 101 TKO? On 101 TKO Radio, because there's other shows where She Wins Radio. Definitely make sure that you are letting us know, right? Make sure you go to 101 TKO Radio, follow the page, go to She Wins Society, follow the page, go to Andromeda.wins, follow the page, reach out to me, let me know if you should be a guest on the show, you know someone else who should be a guest on this show. And we are going to keep growing and winning together, sisters. All right? So until next time, remember, when women support women, we all win. And connections are our most valuable currency. Keep growing and winning, sis. See you next time.